everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Today I thought I would share what I consider a pretty flexible recipe with you. It's one that you can adjust to family size, to what you have on hand, things like that. And I'm going to make it two ways. I'm making one that is gluten-free for me, and my sister hasn't been feeling well. She went back to work today for the first day in a while. So I'm making a second one that's not gluten-free for her to pick up, so all she'll have to do is heat it up tonight. So I'm going to start by showing you guys the ingredients, and then I'll kind of walk you through the process. And as always, I'm going to put the recipe in the About section below. Okay, our ingredients are pretty self-explanatory. You need a bag, this is 12 ounces of sweet garden peas, and I have let them thaw. You need 1 ham steak. I'm using 2 cups of shredded cheddar. You can use American, Velveeta type cheese if you prefer that. I just like cheddar. 6 potatoes that we are going to slice into thin slices. I've already washed them, so I'm going to leave the skins on. Oh, and I forgot to say, we are going to dice our ham into little bite-sized pieces. I made homemade cream of mushroom soup for mine that is gluten-free. And if anybody would like for me to show the recipe on how to do this, leave me a comment below and I'll be glad to do that in another video. It's not a real long, complicated process. Then, of course, for hers, I have the cream of mushroom soup. This is just the Fit and Active from Aldi. And I'm going to add onion powder. This casserole is also good with sliced onions added to it, but for family preferences and for the sake of where she's been sick, I'm just going to go with this rather than pieces of onion. Cooking spray and just some aluminum foil. So to get started, I'm not going to make you guys watch me slice these potatoes or the ham. I'll come back and show you when that's ready. Okay, as you can see, potatoes are sliced. I'm hoping you can see kind of the thickness. I'm guessing 1/4 of an inch, maybe just a little bit more. I'm not really good with measurements, but they're all sliced, you know, reasonable baking thickness because they are going to have to bake. Ham, I kind of take off most of the fat that I can, not because I'm fat phobic, but because I don't like the texture of the fat on ham. So I'm going to show you now how to put these together. Let me set these out of the way. I'm going to start by going ahead and spraying my casserole dishes. And now really this is a dump and go recipe. I'll adjust the camera to make sure you can see in the bowls. So, split the potatoes in half. In your case, you wouldn't be doing this in 2, but like I said, I am making 2. So put your potatoes in a bowl. Oh, oven's ready. Preheat your oven to 350, by the way. Sorry about that. So I'm splitting the potatoes into 2 different dishes, or 2 different bowls here. Add half of the ham to one. See why I say this can be as big as you want. You can add as many potatoes, as many ham cubes, sorry about that, as much as you want to make as large of a dish as you would like to have. And let me get some scissors. The original way I made this was to measure out the peas. I'm just going to divide this bag half and half between each casserole. Now I'm going to put, not quite, you'll see I'm going to leave just a little bit of my cheese left to sprinkle on top, but each one will get a good handful of cheese in it. Onion powder, I'd like to tell you I measure it, but it would be a lie, but I'd guess about 1/4 of a teaspoon at the most, or you can do half of a medium onion sliced in thin rings. Now for the one with the gluten, I am using cream of mushroom soup. that I'm just going to dump right in there. Again, this is a flexible recipe. You can use cream of chicken, you can use cream of celery. There may be some others, I don't know. You can also make like a white sauce or cheese sauce like you make with macaroni. I don't do it because it's an extra step, but you know, just depends on how much time you want to spend cooking. And then for mine, I'm just dumping in my cream of mushroom soup. And at this point, you can add more salt and pepper if you like. I already salted and peppered my soup, and the ham is kind of salty, and then with the cheese added, I think this is going to be enough. Simply mix all of this together well. And it's kind of a little awkward with the potatoes on the bottom, so you kind of got to just lift and kind of get it all mushed together, so to speak. And divide your potatoes up some so there's some soup touching each one of them. I'm doing the same thing for the one with gluten. And I forgot to take it out, but it looks to me like this is a little too thick. So I'm going to add about 1/4 of a cup of milk to each one. Just to thin that soup a little bit, add a little extra moisture. Help make our sauce a little creamier. Now, if you were serving this to company and you wanted to, you could very carefully layer your potatoes and peas and all of that. I am, one, not serving to anybody who cares, two, not taking the time. And sorry, because I know my arms are backwards for the camera here. Place everything in your casserole dish. Ooh, got a dish full here. And scrape, you know, don't waste your cheese. Scrape all your cheese out. Spread this out, kind of get your potatoes and stuff down in there. And at this point, take half of your remaining cheese and just kind of sprinkle on the top. I'll cover them both with foil at the same time. I hope this dish is big enough. Let me stir in this milk. Okay. This dish is great to make after Easter when you have leftover ham or any holiday. Usually if I have leftover ham, I will freeze it in like 2-cup portions to use in things like this, or to use in dried beans, or to kind of give macaroni and cheese some oomph, or you know, things like that. So it's really optional, but the ham steaks aren't too bad. I think on average I can get them for less than $5 a piece, or around $5. And doing it this way, you can stretch one to feed right many people. Adding my cheese. Gotta wipe my hands before I touch the foil box. So that is it. Now you can add breadcrumbs if you'd like. I'm not. I'm going to actually send some easy take and bake rolls to go with this for her. And I'll keep a couple out to make for my daughter. Cover this with foil. And you're going to bake it. Sorry about the rattle. You're going to bake these in a 350-degree oven. I check mine at 45 minutes. That's one of the reasons that I put the foil on. It seems to keep in the steam and help them cook a little faster. And at 45 minutes, if the casserole, if the potatoes feel like they're done, you just do a fork test. Then I take the foil off and let it go for 10 or 15 more minutes, just kind of to crisp up the top. And if they don't feel done, I put them in for a few more minutes. The thickness of your potatoes is going to determine that for the most part. So we're going to put these in the oven and let them bake, and I'll come back in a little while and show you what they look like. Okay, so here they are, fresh from the oven, still bubbling. And I did end up about, when I checked them at 45 minutes, they were not as done as I wanted them to be. I cranked my heat on up to 400 and let them cook an extra 15 minutes above and beyond, so I did cook them a little while. It may have just been my potatoes, could have been they don't all cook the same, or it could have been that I just simply cut them too thick, which happens especially if I'm cutting them by hand, but I didn't want to clean the food processor. So anyway, I'm going to send one to my sister, along with just an easy can of peaches to open for something sweet, and some brown and serve rolls. These are really inexpensive at Aldi. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back